Each position in the social order has its quirks. For instance, alphas frequently display clown behavior, whereas deltas frequently tell dreadful jokes. Similar to this, sigmas have their quirks that some people find strange or unfathomable. We'll explain these peculiarities in this video. We'll examine 14 bizarre behaviors among sigma men. You'll probably recognize some of these habits if you're a sigma yourself or if you know one. A peculiar type of man, sigma males act somewhat differently from those around them. They are seen as the mavericks of society, lone wolves who don't follow the rules and don't live up to the norms that the majority of people in society fervently uphold. Sigma guys frequently show qualities and behaviors that could look fairly strange to people on the outside since they don't operate within the constraints of the social dominance order. Don't be shocked if occasionally some of the behavior of sigma males seems fairly strange because they aren't interested in living up to any criteria of what it means to be normal in society. He might abruptly quit his job. Sigma men are good workers. Because of their superior intelligence and tenacious work ethic, sigmas are advantageous to the team. Additionally, the majority of sigmas have a creative streak that makes them effective problem solvers. So many companies depend on their sigma staff, elevating them to positions of authority. Unfortunately, a sigma can be unreliable because typical work environments annoy him. If he reaches breaking point, he may pack up his stuff and quit his job without warning. Often, a sigma won't even tell anybody that he's leaving, he just vanishes and stops coming to work. Of course, everybody wonders where he went, and often, many months later, they find out that he started his own company. Many small business owners are, in fact, sigma males. He likes looking people in the eyes. The sigma man enjoys making eye contact with individuals, even total strangers, and is unafraid of conflict. Even though he may only be strolling down the street, he never fails to meet everyone's eyes. However, he is not acting violently, rather, he is merely taking in his surroundings. They don't even notice him looking because most people avoid eye contact. Occasionally, an alpha takes eye contact as some kind of challenge, but sigma diffuses the situation with a simple nod of the head. Don't forget that an alpha cares deeply about respect, and so a simple acknowledgement of his status normally calms him down. He won't say anything and is unconcerned. The social structure is irrelevant to sigma. For this reason, sigma just grunts or keeps quiet while everyone else around him starts chit-chatting. The sigma simply stays silent when a gathering of people is talking about anything he deems uninteresting, such as the weather or a pointless aspect of someone's life. Some individuals find awkward silences to be uncomfortable, but sigma has no such issues. He doesn't give a damn whether you find him odd. Sometimes people confuse his silence with a type of social anxiety or shyness. They assume that speaking in groups makes him feel anxious. But of course, this is false. Sigmas cannot feel social anxiety because they don't care what people think. His silence just means that he finds the conversation boring. He likely writes in a journal. The unexamined existence, according to Socrates, is not worth living. Since sigmas study both themselves and the world around them, most sigmas would concur. Because of this, I believe that most sigmas maintain some form of a journal. Young children writing about their social lives come to mind when we think of maintaining a journal or diary. A sigma, however, utilizes journals to reflect on his deeds and how they affect the world. I believe that a lot of sigmas keep notebooks to record their objectives and evaluate their accomplishments and failures. But far from writing petty journal entries, his journal resembles the work of a natural scientist who analyzes cause and effect relationships. I also suspect that many sigmas stash their journals in a safe place so that nobody finds years of detailed notes documenting their secrets. When individuals change plans, he is happy. An extrovert enjoys social events, so when his friends change their plans, he is dissatisfied and depressed. Extroverts, like alpha men, need social interaction to refuel. They feel re-energized following a night of drinking and talking. They take a cancellation hard. In contrast, sigma dislikes most social occasions. He normally attends them out of a sense of duty. Therefore, if out of nowhere, his friends suddenly cancel their plans, the sigma rejoices and happily spends his night alone. He didn't want to go to the social event, he was just trying to be polite. He'd rather read books or do something creative. He may be direct. People typically worry about offending or hurting others during conversations. Sigmas, though, don't give a damn about how you feel. A sigma doesn't lie or exaggerate himself, but he will occasionally call someone out on it if he is around someone who does. Other people who observe the meeting are uneasy because they are shocked by the forthright confrontation. For example, if a sigma catches you lying, he might just point it out by saying something like, "Stop talking crap." The room will fall silent until somebody changes the topic. None of this bothers Sigma because confrontation doesn't faze him. And if a Sigma dislikes somebody, normally a Gamma male, he tells that person to leave. He'll be saying something like, "I don't want to be around this guy anymore. Get him out of here." He uses headphones to avoid talking to people. As creative individuals, Sigmas frequently have a passion for music. Legendary musicians like Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, and Jimmy Page were all prominent Sigmas. Therefore, you might think a Sigma is listening to music if you see him with earbuds on. But it's not always the case. See, Sigmas have discovered that earbuds are a great tool for avoiding one of their most despised hobbies. I'm referring to a small conversation. A Sigma sometimes uses earphones to avoid small talk. When he wears earphones, people think that he's listening to music, so they don't talk to him. He avoids social interaction. You may find it strange, but a Sigma could be walking around with earphones on but no music playing. He uses headphones to avoid talking to people. As creative individuals, Sigmas frequently have a passion for music. Legendary musicians like Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, and Jimmy Page were all prominent Sigmas. Therefore, you might think a Sigma is listening to music if you see him with earbuds on. But it's not always the case. See, Sigmas have discovered that earbuds are a great tool for avoiding one of their most despised hobbies. I'm referring to a small conversation. He keeps a tight eye on individuals. The stereotype that Sigmas don't care about social standing is entirely accurate. Strangely enough, however, Sigmas have a keen interest in people and enjoy observing people in their natural environments. This practice is also referred to as people watching. A Sigma generally keeps a careful eye on everyone around him, which some people find unsettling. For instance, if he is at a dinner party, he will probably observe how everyone behaves. He will pick up on nuances that others might overlook. He is not anxious or fearful of them, nor is he passing judgment on them. Sigmas, on the other hand, are keen observers who want to observe how individuals respond to various circumstances. Also, Sigmas remember everything. If he's watching you, you can be sure that he'll remember your words and actions. So, be on your best behavior around Sigmas. They don't forget. He doesn't return calls. Sigmas frequently avoid phone calls, even those from close relatives and friends, unless it's an emergency or a business transaction. Because many people like talking on the phone for hours, this avoidance can occasionally lead to conflict. They catch up and talk about one another's life. However, as you can expect, the Sigma detests spending hours on the phone talking about unimportant aspects of daily life. He isn't being malicious and doesn't despise the caller. He simply detests speaking unless he has something significant to say. That being said, Sigmas enjoy deep conversations. If he's passionate about the topic, a Sigma could talk on the phone for ages. It's theoretically possible. But in general, even with family and close friends, he'll avoid phone calls. And normally his inner circle has learned that lesson. They have learned to send emails or texts instead of picking up the phone. If he sees you in public, he won't pay attention to you. What would you do if you saw someone you knew in the street, such as a neighbor or coworker? Most people would converse for a short while. However, a Sigma frequently acts surprised to see someone he knows while he is out in public. You may easily guess why he doesn't act surprised and just goes about his business. He doesn't feel like playing catch-up and engaging in small talk for 5 minutes. He departs from events without informing anyone. When it's time to leave a party or huge event, a Sigma frequently won't go to each person one by one to say goodbye. If a Sigma attends a big event, he might just disappear at some point. People suddenly start to wonder where he went, and he might not have even bid the host farewell. He frequently leaves parties incognito, disappearing into the shadows without anyone noticing. Typically, they don't notice for another hour or two. He sneaks up on people. Sigma males have a weird way of sneaking up on you. Normally, if somebody walks up to you and shakes your hand while smiling, that person is probably not a Sigma male. Sigmas enjoy the element of surprise, and they're experts at sneaking up on people. If a Sigma wants to get your attention, he waits until the right moment. And then he sneaks up behind you and takes you unawares. Some people find this startling. They may even find it creepy or weird. But Sigmas are charismatic, so they can normally pull it off. Plus, they find your look of surprise funny. He leaves alone. You might assume a man is a loner with no friends if you see him sitting by himself in a restaurant. But you'd be mistaken if the dude is a Sigma. A Sigma has plenty of friends and is frequently invited to various events, yet he frequently decides to go out by himself. He's the kind of man who could go out to eat by himself in a restaurant or go to a bar and have a few drinks while people watching. Even if they don't know anyone there, a Sigma could dance there. He could even go on his own around the globe. He might even prefer traveling alone. Because a Sigma is comfortable in his skin, and enjoys his own company, spending time alone doesn't bother him one bit. Hopefully, this article sheds some light on these peculiar Sigma behaviors. He's not crazy and he's not creepy, he's just a Sigma male with some odd behaviors. So, next time somebody sneaks up on you, or next time you lock eyes with a random man on the street, now you know that you might be dealing with a Sigma. They might abruptly depart a situation. Compared to the majority of their social counterparts, Sigma guys have more naturally introverted personality types. They rarely feel the urge to impress others or get their approval because they are typically uninterested in most social occasions. A Sigma guy will consider carefully whether or not joining a social function will be to his advantage and delight before deciding to do so. The Sigma male is frequently preoccupied with his thoughts, even when he chooses to join. When the mood strikes them, they may simply decide to get up and leave to be back by themselves and enjoy their own company. It might seem strange to some, but don't be surprised if a Sigma male suddenly leaves without warning. They have niche and unusual hobbies. Sigma males are not interested in conforming to whatever it is that society currently deems interesting or cool. This applies as well to the range of hobbies and pastimes that a Sigma male chooses to devote his time to. They are usually highly intelligent and adventurous, and as a result, have no problem developing broad ranges of unusual and complex interests. Many times, people will inquire with a Sigma male as to his hobbies and interests, and get a shock when he reveals a passion they may never have even heard of before. To the outside, the hobbies and interests of a Sigma male may seem particularly niche or eclectic, but it's simply the Sigma male following his true passions. They don't always laugh out loud. Sigma males have a sense of humor, even though they may not be the most sociable of animals. Sigma guys are frequently one step ahead when it comes to predicting the punchline of a joke due to their high intelligence and quick wit. On the surface, they may not appear to have a good sense of humor because they typically have a stoic demeanor and don't get easily enthusiastic or joyful. You may be confident, though, that a Sigma male has generally understood the joke. It may seem especially strange that Sigma guys rarely laugh, even when they think the scenario amusing. In truth, they typically have a very decent sense of humor, something that individuals close to them quickly bring up. They can enjoy arguing. The majority of people find conflict with another person to be incredibly irritating and upsetting. Sigma guys, on the other hand, are very logic-driven in their outlook on life and love nothing more than a good chance to exercise their brains. Since it gives them a chance to put their logical thinking to the test and demonstrate the depth of their analytical skills, Sigma males tend to take great delight in engaging in significant debates on topics they are passionate about. The individuals surrounding a Sigma man may even have the bizarre impression that the more heated the dispute, the more satisfaction the Sigma male derives from it. Sigma guys will never storm out of a good argument. They can struggle with sensory issues. Being highly observant and perceptive to the world around them, Sigma males often struggle with having sensory sensitivity. They are introverts who like to be alone most of the time, so it should come as no surprise that they are not usually fans of large crowds or loud and busy spaces. Sometimes, Sigma males can find themselves easily overwhelmed by these environments and will do their best to avoid them. Especially for those who love nothing more than the idea of a big loud party, the sensory sensitivity of Sigma males can be particularly hard to understand. They don't like compliments. While most people would love nothing more than to be handed a series of flattering compliments, this is anything but the case for Sigma males. Sigma males live by their standards and usually couldn't care less what the people around them think of them. Compliments and flattery may be a great way to swell the average person's sense of self-esteem, but the same can't be said for Sigma males. Sigma males do not respond to flattery and do not seek the approval of anyone but themselves. This might seem odd to most people, but in reality, it means the Sigma male is free to live a life where he does not feel the need to constantly chase praise or approval from others to be satisfied. They are more than happy to be single. Sometimes the world around us makes it seem like the ultimate goal in life is to find a partner, and that without a perfect love story, we can't have a happy ending. A lot of this is down to the media's obsession with partnering up as the conclusion to every story. The Sigma male doesn't fall for this kind of messaging and knows that there is more to life than finding a partner. Sigma males are more than content in their own company, and although it might seem strange to the outside, are perfectly happy to be single. They are highly loyal. Sigma males are slow to gain the confidence of others around them. They are accustomed to taking care of themselves, therefore they don't easily become dependent on others. It may take a Sigma male years to genuinely trust someone after they admit them to their inner group. As a result, a Sigma male's true friendship is marked by extreme loyalty. Once they have gained your trust, they will be extremely loyal to you. Characters that frequently come across as secluded may be extremely surprised by the fervent loyalty they ultimately show. But consider well-known Sigma figures like John Wick. Despite appearing to prefer to keep to themselves, they exhibit the highest level of loyalty. They can be easily irritated. As they are highly rational thinkers who love to place logic at the center of their thought process, Sigma males tend to be easily irritated by blatant senselessness. They don't suffer fools lightly, and also won't make a point of hiding it if they think somebody is acting out of foolishness. Especially with their stoic demeanor, seeing a Sigma male grow irritated can come as somewhat of a shock to those around them, and may seem like a weird and out-of-character trait. They have strong tastes. Sigma males don't easily jump to conclusions. When they hold an opinion about something, you can be sure that they've thought it over with care, and use their highly rational brains to make sure they're certain of what they're saying. When a Sigma male gives his opinion, you can be sure he's ready to defend it. Especially if they have given the impression of being particularly introverted, the strength of a Sigma male's opinion may leave those around them feeling surprised. They are highly intuitive. The strong intuitive powers of a Sigma male may seem to come into contradiction with his highly analytical way of thinking. However, the two are not opposing traits but rather stem from one another. The fact that the Sigma male spends so much of his time carefully analyzing his environment means that over time he comes to develop a strong intuition for what's going on around him. He may seem overly logical at first, but a Sigma male can usually rely just as much on his gut feeling as his rational mindset. They are prepared for anything. Sigma males prize independence and autonomy above just about all else in life. They hate the idea of being caught off guard and not being prepared for the situation in front of them. They may seem cool and collected to the outside, but the reality is that Sigma males often spend a good deal of time rehearsing every possible scenario in their heads. A common habit of Sigma males that others may find weird is having an awareness of things such as the nearest escape route from an environment, just because they can't help the urge to be prepared for any eventuality. They need to be by themselves. One trait of introverted personalities that always get extroverts scratching their heads is how much introverts like to be alone. For extroverts, being around others is one of the most important things in life, and where they get their sense of enjoyment and fulfillment. Introverts such as the Sigma males, on the other hand, need a lot of time alone to process their experiences and recharge. Extroverts might not understand it, but Sigma males need ample time by themselves to be at their best. They can come across as cold or uncaring. Sigma males are notoriously difficult to read. They are rather stoic in their outward appearance and rarely give away too much about what's going on inside their heads. Most people in society try to win the favor of others by putting on sweet and caring facades towards those around them. The Sigma male, on the other hand, is not so interested in charming those around them and doesn't waste any energy putting on an act that will win him social favor. To those who are used to more performative social behavior, the detachment of the Sigma male has the potential to come across as coldness or a lack of care. They are very private. Especially in the age of social media, there can be a tendency in society to share your day-to-day doings with just about anyone who will listen. Sigma males have little time for curating their social image in this way and often surprise people with how private they can be. It's not uncommon for Sigma males to have the bare minimum in terms of social media presence, and this often adds to the aura of mystery and aloofness that they project to others.